Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Let's talk some Monday Night Football. The final game of Week 2, September 17th, 2018. It is the Seattle Seahawks at the Chicago Bears. And to date, the Seahawks have dominated the series, even in Chicago. So let's look at this. Chicago is a 3.5-point favorite, and the over-under is at 43. Remember, in Gematria, Seattle Seahawks equals 43. This is their 43rd season. They won their only Super Bowl with 43 points over the Broncos. Something that jumps out is today's date numerology, 64. A rookie coach is coaching the Bears. And I just wanted to look at how the rookie coaches are doing so far. Well, let's call them first-year coaches because John Gruden's not truly a rookie, but it's been a while since he's been coaching in the NFL. He's back. The team he's coaching isn't doing well, his Raiders, but his former team, the Bucks, are 2-0. And if you watch my preview video for the games this week, I showed you why I really liked the Bucks in a strong narrative. So, John Gruden, first year back, he's 0-2 through the first 2 weeks. Mike Vrabel's now 1-1. He won the Battle of Houston. The Titans, the original Houston team, defeated the Houston Texans for Mike Vrabel's first win as a coach. Matt Patricia of the Lions, 0-2. Frank Wright of the Colts lost week 1, won week 2. We said why we liked him to win. Andrew Luck picking up his 47th career win in D.C., his hometown, where everything's 47. Now you can see why they sat Luck for an entire season with the bogus injury. It's all part of a planned ritual playing out. The Cardinals coach 0-2. Matt Nagy of the Bears right now is 0-1. He's either going to be 1-1 after tonight's game or 0-2 as well. Pat Shurmur of the Giants also 0-2. And I'm kicking myself. What's funny is I was doing my Sunday night football video. I was putting it out Saturday. And while I was doing it, I got a call from a friend. And he put this news in my ear about why the Giants were going to win. And I was telling him, no, it looks like the Cowboys are going to win this game. But then he got me looking at something, and then I got torn. I wish I just put out my video and stuck with my initial thought. But whatever, it doesn't matter. It's in the past. Anyway. If Matt Nagy wins tonight, what's interesting is rookie coaches will be 3-11 on the season. 3-11, kind of like 311, which is the 64th prime. Today's date has 64 numerology. So something to think about. Today's date also has 37 numerology. Chicago equals 37. 37's the 12th prime. The Seahawks could pick up their 12th win against the Bears tonight, potentially. And I'll show you what's juicy about that narrative. It's hard to imagine the Seahawks winning tonight. You know, their football team's pretty depleted. Their star receiver's out. You know, nothing's looking so hot about the Seahawks, but you have to understand the entire league is rigged and scripted, and when it comes to gambling, they're trying to take the logical thought of the gambler and play it against him. You know, that's something to consider every week. Today's date also has 28 numerology. Seattle also has Gematria of 28. Today happens to be 28 days after the Bears starting QB's birthday, Mitch Trubisky, whose birthday is August 20th. 20 plus 8, 28. Special number, that perfect number. Date also has 44 numerology. Seattle's also 44 in Gematria. It's 9-17. 9 plus 17 is 26. Bear equals 26. The last time the Seahawks and Bears played, it was on a date with 26 numerology, and the Seahawks won 26-0 over the Bears. But things are different now. Mitch Trubisky's there, different coach. Mitch equals 26. With regards to it being September 17th, the date can be written 17/9 like 179, which is the 41st prime number. 41 is also the 13th prime number. The game's in Chicago, the home crowd. The word home has Gematria 41 and 13. It's week 2. 2 equals 13. We talked about how 13 would be a big number in Sunday Night Football. Dallas equals 13. Dallas won at home. The Giants lost with 13 points. We also talked about how yesterday's game, a big number on it was 10. And the final, or the score at halftime was 10-0, the only touchdown by number 10. It's all a joke when you know the code. With regards to Monday Night Football, the acronym MNF with the alphabetic order, it's 33. With the reverse alphabetic order, it's 48. Last week, the winning scores were 33 and 48. Seahawks also have the Gematria of 33 and 48. The Seahawks, the only team to ever win a Super Bowl on the 33rd day of the year, meaning it was the only Super Bowl on the 33rd day of the year. That was Super Bowl 48, the one where they won with 43 points. Seahawks are also dominant on Monday Night Football. As of 2 years ago, they had the best record in the history of Monday Night Football, and that might still be true. So something to keep in mind. Seahawks are dominant on Monday Night Football. Also, it's interesting that the Bears open against the Packers, the division rival, and then play the Seahawks. I've always talked about the relationship with the Packers and Seahawks and how they have narratives flow through them. If the Seahawks did win tonight, remember that the Bears would have lost to the Packers and the Seahawks in back-to-back weeks. These teams that are linked at the hip. Tonight's game will be the 16th regular season game between the two teams and the 18th game all-time. In the regular season, the Seahawks can pick up their 12th win. Again, 37 is the 12th prime. The date has 37 numerology. Chicago equals 37. The game's in Chicago. That said, if the Bears win, the Bears record will become, well, the Seahawks record against the Bears would be 11 and 5. The Bears record would be 5 and 11. The new coach of the Bears, Matt Nagy, his name equals 115. Could he pick up his first win, making the all-time record 11 and 5? In the playoffs, the Bears lead the Seahawks 2-0. So this will be the 18th game all time. Bears equals 18. Last week we said why the Packers would beat the Bears, why it was all about 61 and 18. Number 18 scored the winning touchdown by the numbers. Tonight's game will be Russell Wilson's 110th game. He is looking for his 74th win or 36th loss. On the road, he is looking for his 31st win or 25th loss. Keep in mind, Bears has Gematria of 36. He could pick up his 36th loss against the Bears. With a win, he would stay at 35 losses. Chicago in the base ciphers also sums to 35. Makes it a little tricky there. To date, Wilson is 2-0 against the Bears. He's yet to lose to this team. That said, if he lost, he would become 2-1 like 21, and this game comes 73 days before his 30th birthday. 73 is the 21st prime. It would be a good day for him to become 2-1. But now here's what makes it tricky. It's 73 days before his birthday. It's also a span of 74 days to his birthday. He could pick up his 74th win, a span of 74 days from his birthday, and the Seahawks could become 7-4 against Chicago in Chicago. You know? Sometimes the riddles are this tight, and they are. With regards to 74 and 33, we always see that pairing come together. Again, it's Monday Night Football, MNF 33. For Mitch Trubisky, the Bears quarterback, this is going to be his 14th game, and he's looking for his 5th win or his 10th loss. At home, he will pick up either his 3rd win or his 5th loss. With regards to it being his 14th game, remember 43 is the 14th prime. Seattle Seahawks equals 43, 43rd season. 43 is the over-under. This will be Trubisky's first game against the Seahawks. Again, this game comes 28 days after his birthday. He's 24 years old. It's also a span of 29 days. Seattle has the Gematria of 28. Football has the Gematria of 29. Seahawks also has the Gematria of 24. Fitting team for him to play on this day. The Seattle Seahawks. As for the coach of the Seahawks, Pete Carroll, his next career win will be his 113th. And the Seahawks' next game is against Dallas. Dallas equals 113. We talked about how last night was the 113th matchup between Dallas and the Giants. And Dallas got that game. So, does Pete Carroll walk into a game against Dallas with 113 career wins under his belt? Or does he potentially get his 113th win against Dallas? If Pete Carroll loses tonight, he would earn his 81st career loss in the regular season. Russell Wilson has the Gematria of 81. For the Bears coach, Matt Nagy, this game comes on his 147th day of his age. Nagy equals 47 when you write out 1 O-N-E, like getting your first win, number 1. 1 equals 47. Remember, we just saw the first tie game in week 1 in 47 years. But Nagy 47, 147. When you write out 47th, it equals 147. This is the 147th day of his age. Think about the first book of the Bible, the number 1 book, Genesis. In Genesis 47, Jacob dies at age 147. The football schedule from week 1 to Super Bowl Sunday is 147 days later, from Sunday to Sunday. Week 1 Sunday to NFL Super Bowl Sunday, 147 days, 21 weeks. That narrative I really like. The coaching narrative, if I had to look at the coaching narrative and nothing else, I would say, well, looks like Pete Carroll's going to have to get his 113th win against Dallas, and it looks like this makes sense for Matt Nagy to get his first career win today, especially since Seattle's from the 47th parallel. So, tough call. Devin Cook, he also pointed out that today's date is the 260th day of the year, kind of like 26. And the last time these two teams played, the Seahawks won 26-0. And we talked about this riddle opening night. The Falcons came into the regular season with 351 wins, the 26th triangular number, part of the reason we knew they would lose to the Eagles. The Seahawks can pick up their 351st win all time, the 26th triangular on this date with 26 numerology, and they can do it over the Bears, where bear equals 26. So, this is the kind of game, again, where I would look at, and I would not want to bet on it, just because the narrative is too tight. I just want to bet on games where I can see who's a clear winner. And when I'm doing this analysis, I'm trying to show you which narratives feel really strong. And my advice to you, if you like to gamble, is to, listen to what I'm saying and pay attention to where I'm really emphatic about the narrative. Like, for example, when I put out the picks for week 2, I was real strong on why I liked Andrew Luck to get his 47th win in D.C., his hometown, where everything's 47. It just made too much sense. I was also strong on why the Bucs would give Nick Foles his 19th loss, and how that game had all to do with 19, and the word flag equals 19, and it was another flag ritual, and the Bucs symbol is a pirate flag. And I also liked the Chargers, Phillip Rivers picking up his 111th career win in New York, where New York equals 111. So Jonathan Maggie, he looked at, the gambling lines, and he saw that if he did a parlay on those 3 teams, it had a big payout. He took $50 and made it $465. And that's what I recommend you do all season. Make smart parlays. Look at where the narratives are really strong. It's like yesterday when I said, or not yesterday, but when I put out the picks for yesterday, when I was looking at the Patriots game, I said, everything lines up for the Jaguars to win this game, but there's this thing with Tom Brady potentially picking up his 199th regular season win against Michigan, where there's this huge riddle with Tom Brady, 199 in Michigan, being the 199th pick overall out of Michigan. And obviously it's not going to work out that way now. And, that kind of stuff still mystifies me when narratives are that tight and that close and they don't land. Like, I don't know what they're doing with the scripting when they do it that way. I do see why he lost to the Jaguars yesterday. Because like I showed, everything lined up for him to lose that game, except for that one narrative of him getting his 199th regular season win against Detroit, the team from Michigan. So, again, when I'm telling you the picks and what I'm looking at, listen to where, I'm emphatic. Like, look at this and this and this and this and this. Because almost every time that I'm real excited about a pick and where everything lines up, it is that way. The ones where I'm like, and han, like the Texans-Oilers game. Or the Texans-Titans game. The Titans used to be the Oilers. I was showing how that was the Battle of Houston, but I was like, so which Houston team's it going to go to? The original Houston team who are now the Titans, or the current Houston team? And I chose wrong in that game too. But those ones that are, trickier riddles, they're not the ones to bet on. And, I'm the type of person where if I'm going to make a bet, I like to know, or at least be as certain as possible, that I'm going to win that bet. And with regards to tonight's game, if you got money to spend, you take this narrative and you make an assessment for which riddle you think's tighter. Personally, doing this for going on 5 years now, this is the type of game where I'm saying, well, I'm just not sure. It's just too tight in too many ways. 73 days before his birthday, the 21st prime, you can become 2-1, or a span of 74 days, you can pick up a 74th win. The Seahawks become 7-4 against the Bears. This is the kind of game that makes you pull your hair out. And, when I first started, the only way I picked games was I looked at date numerology, and I saw who had more alignment with the date numerology. And even in this case, you can't say that one team really does. The Bears have multiple connections. Seattle has multiple connections. So the one thing that might tip it to the Bears through the date numerology is first-year coaches becoming 3-11, the 64th prime. That only happens if the Bears win tonight, and then that would set up Pete Carroll to get potentially his 113th win against Dallas next week. That'll be the Seahawks' first home game. And, Seattle's one of the NFL's best markets right now, so I feel like they have to feed them. But things come and go, and eventually it'll go for Seattle. And right now it's in that process of going. You can see that their team's on the decline. So we'll leave it there. In week 3, every pick, I'm going to show you what my checklist is that I do for every single team with every single pick. Like I talked about, from now on, I need to analyze what a QB's record is against a team in my pick, because that's crucial information that for all these years I haven't been doing. So that was another piece that could have been there. It's going to be there going forward. And if you didn't see my Josh Gordon prediction for today, that landed. Hope some of you won some money on that. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.